As a rideshare driver, there is no doubt that dealing with strangers every day, day in and day out, comes with unforeseen, unpredictable dangers. A lot of nefarious characters out here that mean us no good. Nevertheless, there are tips to the trade that could put you in a more advantageous position and even save your life. Today, we're going to talk about just that. What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. Tips of the trade that could keep your ass alive. Now, this is in response to a comment I saw in the comment section of one of my other videos that immediately sent off red lights. And to my veteran drivers, this should also leave you alarmed as well. Now, the comment goes something like this. When I first started driving rideshare, I had a man come up to my car and ask if I was his Lyft driver. I had the Lyft light on the windshield or in the windshield. I said, I don't know, is your name Bill? He said yes and got in. He said he needed to change the drop-off location, and so I told him he needed to do it inside of the Lyft app. Now, as you can see, the comment continues on, but we're going to talk about a host of red flags, things that you should do as a rideshare driver. Why the hell am I using this comment in particular? Because as a rideshare driver, this is something we will all go through. We will all have passengers or folks pretending to be passengers at least attempt to get in our vehicle. Some will actually make it inside. Going to give you first tips that prevent this from happening. Certainly to prevent folks from getting inside of your vehicle and what the hell you need to do if they actually are in the seat behind you. So we're going to start out by pointing out that her comment, the person in the comment section continued on by saying this individual, once they got in the vehicle and immediately said they needed to make changes to their destination, the person was drunk and started taking forever to make the change. The comment continues on with the Lyft driver stating that they drove 10 minutes on the damn highway before they received a call on their phone from the Lyft exchange. Turns out the person that she had asked the passenger, is your name Bill? Passenger said, yeah, and got in the damn car. On the phone was Bill, stating that you didn't pick me up. I have canceled this ride already 10 minutes ago. Now, obviously, there are some issues there because if you cancel a trip, the driver should be notified right away. And I do believe once a trip is canceled, certainly if a passenger has never been in the vehicle, Lyft and Uber removes their ability to even contact the driver to begin with. So there's a little bit of questionable statements there, but according to this Lyft driver, they did pick up someone, asked them, is your name Bill? The passenger said, yeah, got in the vehicle and immediately started talking about, well, I need to change the destination, and was taking all day to do it. Now, obvious red flags. First of all, you cannot change the destination if you're the wrong damn passenger. So in regards to the passenger was drunk and taking forever to make the change, no, wasn't taking him forever. He's not capable of doing it. He cannot make the damn change through the app if he's not the actual passenger. So I'm going to give you a tip on what you should do the minute something like that happens. But we'll continue on by stating that the commentator stated she pulled over and immediately the passenger started refusing to get out of the vehicle. We've all had that happen, and actually made threats to her. Once again, there is a procedure, a way to deal with that we're going to recommend. My veteran drivers in the comments, have you ever had a passenger refuse to get out of the damn vehicle? I would assume any veteran driver that's been doing this for even 6 months to a year has probably had at least one driver that didn't want to get the hell out of our vehicles, particularly if you're picking up passengers in high volume areas. You know, when there are few trips available or drivers available, like after a big concert or a big game, 2 o'clock in the morning on the after club crowd, people just want to get home and they're going to jump in the first car that comes along. We've all had passengers state that even though you're waiting for somebody else, I'll give you $20, I'll give you $50 to let me be the person in your car. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, shit, I'm going to take that every damn day. But understand, doing things off the books do come with certain disadvantages, certain risks when you're dealing off the books. So, such as there's no recourse if that passenger turns out to do you harm, because Uber and Lyft have no data on who the hell just got in your car. So do understand that. Keep your tools on you. We'll explain what tools is later in the video. So when you got a passenger that's threatening to get out and you know this is not your passenger, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, one of the tips is you need to consider getting out of the vehicle. Certainly if you feel like the threat may be more than you can physically deal with, you can try bargain with the passenger. I got to go use the restroom really bad, and pull up in a gas station or something, get out of the vehicle, take your keys with you and call the authorities from there, whatever the case may be. But if you feel like the threat is too difficult physically to overcome, try to get out of the vehicle, but try to do it in a way that the passenger does not know you are abandoning the vehicle. Using the restroom is probably the best excuse I can give, because we all have to use the restroom. Any passenger, whether sober or drunk, can understand somebody having to suddenly use the restroom. Go use the restroom, call the authorities from there, and take your time coming out. Do not return back to that vehicle. Hopefully either the passenger will leave in frustration or the police will arrive, but don't let the passenger know you're just going to stop the car and get out, because they're obviously going to probably try to destroy your vehicle. Worst case scenario, come after you and physically harm you. So in regards to the tips, first tip I believe is most important. Help stop this shit from culminating from the beginning. Always verify who the hell's getting in your car by asking questions. And when I say ask questions, do not let the passenger dictate the conversation, such as walking up to your car and asking you, are you my Lyft or Uber driver? And you saying yes, and then they asking questions on, well, you know, who you coming to pick up, or whatever the case may be, so that when you give the answer, I'm coming to pick up Bill, I'm Bill. Do not let them dictate the jargon back and forth. Simply stated, ask them, what is the name of your driver? It should be right there on the app. If they're hesitant to answer that question, that should be a huge red flag. Remember, you as a driver, it's your vehicle, your safety. Dictate the direction of the conversation. Do not let your passenger do that. Every passenger that's going to get into a rideshare vehicle should be able to tell you the name of the driver getting in their vehicle, or the vehicle they're about to get in. Keep in mind, they have accurate information on us. Oftentimes, we don't have shit on them. Even if something happens to you, in some cases, even after your demise, Uber or Lyft can be hesitant to give information as to who violated you, who you are the victim of. So understand, they have all the information on you. So if you ask them, well, who the hell is supposed to be coming to pick you up? If they don't want to answer that question, then you got the wrong car, period. Do not risk your damn life for 70 to 80 cents a mile. Understand that. Number 2, avoid using, now remember in this comment, the person in the comment section said they had the Lyft light in their windshield. I'm going to tell you flat out, avoid using Uber and Lyft decals on your vehicle for a couple reasons. Obviously, it attracts attention to you, sometimes attention you do not want. The passengers know when the hell their car is coming up. They should be paying attention. I don't want drunks in my damn vehicle anyway. So if your ass is too drunk to look at the phone and know when your ride is coming, well, the hell with you. I'll take someone else. So you don't need an Uber or Lyft light on your vehicle. The phone and the GPS on these devices is so damn accurate. You can walk right up to that vehicle. Just look down at your phone, both of you, and you'll know when you're matching up. I don't like the Uber and Lyft decals for a host of reasons, such as it attracted this guy in her case. The light on her windshield is most likely what attracted this nefarious character to her vehicle in the first place. So that's one reason. Second reason is when you're parked somewhere, you got a light on in your vehicle, people can see you. If you're having lunch or you want to lay, as they say, low in the cut and not be seen, any lights on your vehicle attract attention. And we'll talk about that in a further tip. But I am not a fan of the Uber or Lyft decals for a host of reasons. And I understand in some cases, certain jurisdictions, the law, if you're dealing with ride sharing, require you to have these decals. If the law requires you to have some sort of decal, you can rig it in a way where you can turn it off quickly when you want to. I would suggest using lights as opposed to stickers. Or if you're going to use some sort of a sticker, make it a sticker where you can hide it if you want to turn it off. Such as, remember the old taxi days? They used to have a for hire on the side of their visor. So the sun visor, they can flip it down, flip it up. Something that you can remove if you don't want to be known that you're driving for Uber or Lyft. So I'm just not a fan of decals. I think the attention they can draw is just not good. Next, be cautious about passengers. And this is serious. Be cautious about passengers changing destinations, adding stops, and things like that. You do, as an independent contractor, have a right to say no to all of that shit. Understand, when they're starting to make changes like that, it's essentially a change to the original contract. When you receive a trip from Uber or Lyft, they tell you take passenger from point A to point B and we'll pay you this much. You make your decision on whether to take that trip based on that information. When you get a passenger that gets in your vehicle and they change the trip, they are essentially changing the original contract that you made. You don't have to take that. And there's a host of reasons why. Obviously, in some cases, it could mean someone taking you somewhere to victimize you. So that's one of the major issues. Next issue could be taking you somewhere outside of your service area that you do not want to go. A lot of us have some sort of a geographic area that we would rather not go outside of. Oftentimes because that means there's no trip coming back and you're going to have to drive a hell of a long way at your own expense back. So you don't want somebody requesting a 10-mile trip, getting in your vehicle and changing it to a 50-mile trip. Once again, you have the right to say no to all of this shit. So be very cautious of folks making changes once they get in your vehicle. Now, in the case of this commentator stating that, well, it took them 10 minutes and they were drunk. My strong advice is the minute someone starts suggesting they're going to make a change to the trip, stop the vehicle. Pull over as soon as you can and stop the vehicle for a few reasons. One, as in this case, they may not know where the hell they're going. So while you're driving, you could be spending, in this case, 10 minutes on the highway, as she stated, wasting fuel, driving 10 minutes in the wrong direction. So certainly pull the vehicle over. You don't want the frustration and potentially wasting fuel driving 10 minutes in the wrong direction. Obviously, that passenger could then try to report you and say you drove 10 minutes of unnecessary driving to somehow ramp up the fare. Just a lot of things that could go wrong. And obviously you're going to be very, very pissed off if somebody makes you drive that far in the wrong damn direction. So I would highly advise the moment they start talking about making changes, stop the vehicle. Stop the vehicle. You may be in an advantageous spot to make a U-turn and go the other way, like in the case on a highway. Exits are spaced apart, mile, 2 miles, or something like that. Pull over on the shoulder or wherever the hell you got to do because you might be at the next exit that you need to take. Whereas if you keep driving, the next exit may be 2 or 3 miles up, and you still may need to make a U-turn. So I would strongly advise pulling the vehicle over the minute somebody starts indicating they want to make a change. But I'm going to stress, I cannot stress this enough. You have the right to say no at any given time. Do not let these ride sharing companies bully you and tell you you have to do any damn thing passengers want. That is the whole reason why we're in this damn predicament now where passengers treat us like peasants, is because Uber and Lyft have encouraged them to do so, have given them the belief that you don't have to tip. Drivers got to take in service, lizards and pigs and shit. They don't have any say-so at all. When they show up, they're at your beck and call, and they're not expecting much money for your troubles. So don't ever let these ride-sharing apps bully you or dictate and have you do shit you don't want to do, or in this case, putting your safety in danger. So continuing on, this one is also extremely important, certainly in keeping you safe. When you are parked, keep your damn doors locked. Even if you're parked in front of a club, you're parked in front of a concert or some popular venue waiting for your passenger to come, keep your doors locked. Bill, in the case of this story, would not have been able to get in the vehicle if the doors were locked. Now, I'm not here to suggest that the person commentating did leave their doors unlocked. We don't know. But keep your doors locked, because a lot of passengers, the first contact you'll have with them is them opening up the door and sitting in your damn car. And if they are someone who's been waiting for a ride for an hour or two, or eager to get home, or drunk as fuck, they're not going to want to get out. So the first step in regards to dealing with nefarious characters and unwanted folks is making sure they can't get in your car to begin with. So keep your doors locked anytime you are parked. And certainly if you got Lyft and Uber decals all over your shit, you really are inviting people to just come up and pull the handle of your door. So under no circumstance should you be sitting in a vehicle with the doors unlocked. Lock your damn doors. And in addition to that, lights off. Whether you have lights on in the vehicle or headlights on outside the vehicle, when you are parked, lights off. Do not draw unnecessary attention to your vehicle. As I stated, any Lyft driver or Lyft passenger or Uber passenger that knows how this shit works can look down at their phone and tell if they're walking towards a vehicle. Now, if you know for certain the passenger walking towards you is your passenger because your device is showing you they're walking towards you, you can turn the lights on and things like that, or you can crack the window, whatever the hell you need to do to communicate. But just be cautious of having people walk up and jump in your shit, because it can be almost impossible to get them out if they really want that ride. There are a hell of a lot of passengers. As I stated before, I asked you folks in the comments, veteran drivers, have you had folks that did not want to get out of your vehicle? We've all had them. And I'd be curious to know, what did you folks do to get folks out of your vehicle that did not want to get out? A lot of folks that drive maybe don't want to take cash trips. Somebody's offering you, I'll give you $20. No, man, I don't do it like that. You got to get, no, come on, you don't want this 20? How about 30? No, and you're trying to get them the hell out of your vehicle and they don't want to get out. You don't want people spitting in your vehicle. You know, you don't want somebody hitting you in the back of the head or doing something stupid. So do whatever you can to keep bad actors out of your vehicle to begin with. No decals, doors locked, lights off. And this also applies to folks who are taking lunches and taking breaks. When you're taking a lunch or a break in your vehicle, do not park in dark locations and then have your damn phone or your radio going where you can be seen all the way down the block, because the light in your vehicle is the only light on the damn block. Do not stand out like that. You don't want to draw any attention to yourself. And I'm bringing that up because a hell of a lot of us get carjacked. Once again, those Uber and Lyft decals, if you are someone looking to carjack somebody, you know Uber and Lyft drivers are used to strangers jumping in their shit. A regular driver's not going to deal with that. So keep those decals off your car. And as I said, do not draw unnecessary attention to yourself. So last but not least, in regards to exiting the vehicle, as I talked about earlier, or dealing with passengers that do not want to get out, those who are threatening you, keep your tools on you. When I say tools, you know what I'm talking about. Something to defend yourself in the worst case scenarios, whether it's mace, a cutting or poking tool. When I say cutting or poking, I mean something like a box cutter, a Stanley knife, or a screwdriver, or a hunting knife, or even a butcher's knife, or something out of your damn kitchen. All of this stuff can get somebody off of you if you're in that situation. If that's all you can do is save yourself, be prepared to do it. And of course, last but not least, if you're comfortable carrying a firearm, damn that, carry a firearm. I understand the terms of Uber and Lyft do not allow drivers to carry weapons at all. They want us completely unarmed. But I'm just going to tell you, it makes no damn sense to adhere to that policy when they don't even keep track of who the hell's getting in your vehicle. No background check. Person A can hire you for person B without any knowledge of who person B is. They don't even have to use their real damn name to get in your car. Do you really think it makes sense to drive completely unarmed and defenseless in a scenario like that? And as I stated, if something were to happen to you and there is going to be drivers in the comments that could probably adhere to this. If something were to happen to you, simply getting information about who did it can be difficult from Uber and Lyft. Oftentimes, they will protect the privacy of your violator and leave you hanging. So be cautious about what you're doing out here and understand no one can protect you better than you protect yourself. It's your boy Tim. As always, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.